Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Defy Aging, and we are now in week 33 of this year. So this week we're going to have an in-your-own space routine, so there's no rotating around the turf. There's 6 exercises. The reps are slightly different for each one, so they will be noted on the board for you to refer to. And we're going to do this for 25 minutes, pardon me. So you go through the full circuit of 6 things, just as many rounds as you can in the 25 minutes. It's not a race, so there's not a goal to get as many as possible. So make sure you are taking your breaks, 20, 30, 40 seconds between each exercise, getting some water and all of that. So you do those 6 exercises, as many rounds as you can comfortably get in 25 minutes. All right, that being said, let's demonstrate some movements. Okay, the first exercise is a alternating reverse overhead press. That's definitely not an official name. That's just the best I could come up with. It's 10 reps each arm. And what I mean by a reverse press, probably wondering what that means, is our starting position is actually, typically, let me back up. Typically a starting position for a shoulder press over is this. You start at the bottom, right? Then we go up and we go down. With this one, this week, we're going to actually, the starting position is going to be up. So that's, and then we're going to do alternating. So one arm at a time, down and up, hold that arm there, down and up, other side, hold that arm there, and you keep alternating in this fashion. That's quite a bit different. What can tend to happen is the arm that's supposed to be staying straight up can sometimes start to you see how I let my arm kind of dip like that? And now watch my other arm, it can kind of start to, so your goal is to make sure the arm that is staying up is staying firm and straight and strong and tall and not kind of starting to kind of sink down. So that one's going to need to go at a relatively nice slow pace, 10 reps on each arm, and let's give that one a try. Next up, we have some biceps with a little bit of stability because we're going to be in this half kneel position. When we do the half kneel position, it automatically adds a little bit of stability work, okay? You're going to do the curl with the same side as the down knee, same side as the kneeling knee. If it helps you to remember, when your arm is hanging down, it's just hanging right by your leg. Whereas if it was on this side, it's not hanging by my leg. My leg's up here. Whatever helps you remember. From here, we do controlled bicep curls. I like to do the kind where I turn my palm towards me at the top and then start to kind of rotate it so the fist is now pointing inward at the bottom. I find it uncomfortable to put my arm out like this to leave room for the bell. That's just me. That's just my preference. So if you prefer keeping the palm forward the whole time, go ahead. I'm struggling with remembering these reps. This is 12 each arm. Okay, so you'll do all 12 on this side. Switch your legs too, not just the arm, but the leg position to 2. And then, of course, you got your 12 on this side. Anyone staying off the knees, we're going to try a staggered stance. That can be kind of tricksy on the balance, though, but give it a try. So if I was down here in the kneeling, staggered is very similar. I still have this leg kind of back, but I'm pushed up on that toe a little bit, and I have this staggered stance. So it's still a lot of stability. And if that's the balance is just maybe too unsteady for you to feel safe or comfortable, standard parallel stance and get your single arm curl like this. All right, so that is each side individually and hitting some biceps this week. Okay, you've got some core, got some plank. We're going to be in a low plank doing toe taps. Low plank doesn't refer to how close you are to the ground. It means you're on your forearms as opposed to your hands, so the typical plank. All right, so you're in your low plank. Make sure the hips are relatively level to the floor. By that, I mean we just don't want the hips way up here. So find your good plank, and then we tap the toes out one at a time, alternating sides. It's going to be 12 on each side. So you'll count 1, 1, and 2, 2, 3, 3, so on and so forth. There is not a knee option for this. I know there's a knee plank, but when you're doing the tap out to the side in a knee plank, it really just doesn't work. It's not very functional. So anyway, if either someone is avoiding the floor because of the getting down or being on the knees or whatever to kneel down, or we would typically do a knee plank as another option for a plank. Since the knee plank isn't an option this week, we'll take it to an incline. That'll be your other alternative, your other option. So everything is the same. Still though, want to make sure the hips aren't way up here. So you have to scoot your body forward so you're nice and level. And then we can do our toe taps here. Okay, 12 each side for that one. All right, we're going to target the glutes and some hamstrings with some glute thrusts for the next one. 12 of these as well. So this is the one where we lie on our back, bend the knees, feet are flat on the floor. You know, and people have asked me, do you put your heels close to your body or farther out? You can do either. You'll feel it just targets the muscles slightly differently with each position. If you put them farther out, it's going to be a little more hamstring. If you put them closer in, it's going to be a little more glute and maybe even some quad. So try them both. Do what you like. They're both correct. From here, we do the thrust up, squeeze your butt muscles at the top, and tap the floor at the bottom, but don't take a full rest. So see how I'm just tapping the floor like this, but I'm not actually like resting my full body weight down between each rep. What that does is just keep a little bit of muscle contraction the whole time, even when you're at the easy part of the rep. But if you rest fully on the floor, you're stopping the contraction altogether. So it seems like a minor detail, but it actually is more beneficial for the effectiveness of the exercise. Anyone staying off the floor, we're going to do our standard Romanian deadlifts, RDLs. I have dumbbells here, so I'm going to use dumbbells, but you can use a kettlebell if you prefer. But we do deadlifts all the time, so you guys know this one. Keep the legs mostly straight. There's just a soft bend in the knees. So if I bend them anymore, it's almost turning into a squat, right? It's a hinge, so we're not just leaning forward. You're hinging at your hip joint. So it's a hinge. You have to pop the hips back. As you pop your hips back, your upper body kind of naturally comes down and forward. Keep your back nice and flat. Make sure we're not rounding. And yeah. So whether you're doing the glute thrusts or the deadlifts, the count for the reps is 12. All right, keeping the legs working. Now we have goblet squats. Just a quick little heads up. Yes, there's 2 leg things back to back, but the glute thrusts / deadlifts, that targets the back of your legs, so your glutes and your hamstrings. The goblet squats that we're going to do now focuses more on the fronts of your legs, so your thighs, your quads. So we're kind of covering all the bases there. Goblet squat, we're going to do bottoms up this week. So we're going to take like this, flip it up. And from here we do standard goblet squat, which I think we did last week in our routine, didn't we? Or was it 2 weeks ago? Anyways, make sure you're not letting your upper body come down too far like this. Also make sure you're locking the kettlebell in right at your chest height. By that I mean we're not letting our arms fall down like this. So keep the kettlebell at the chest. Okay, that is for 15. Our goblet squats is for 15 reps. Okay, and our last exercise is not a rep count. It's a farmer's carry, and it'll be 1 lap. So a lap is just going to be whatever your coach designates for your gym, because every gym is so different. It might be the exterior of the turf. If you have a really small turf space, it might be the perimeter of the gym. Your coach will tell you what a lap means, but it's 1 full lap. To conclude each set. So then you would get to that, and then now we would start back at the top of the list and do all 6 things again. So farmer's carry, you can use 2 kettlebells or 2 dumbbells, whatever there is enough of. If we have a really full session, we might have to use both, or just whatever you prefer. Okay, they have slight variations in functionality, but not much. Yes, weight is weight, but a kettlebell is bottom loaded, so it has more of that pulling down feeling, a little more even. Dumbbells have the weight evenly distributed on each side, so it's going to be a little more of balancing it in your hand, and it just feels a little different as far as the way it's pulling downward. So, but yes, if you have 20 pounds in each hand, it's still 20 pounds. I have something light because it was just what I already had, but you do want farmer's carries to be heavy because you're not curling them, you're not squatting with them, you're not raising them, you're just holding them at your side and working on the mobility of forward motion of walking. So you can typically go pretty heavy. So challenge yourself with the weight, but we want to lock the shoulders in, down and back, tall posture. Okay, chest out. So if I was to relax this and kind of stand maybe normally, it would look like this, but we don't want to do our farmer's carry like this. So again, shoulders down and back, chest out, posture is tall. And from here, we just go for a controlled walk. Control the weights in your hands as though you were carrying 2 full buckets of water, trying not to spill any water out because we don't want the weights to be too shaky and wiggly. But that being said, you don't hold them out. You do just let them hang straight down. We don't want to be straining the shoulders to try to hold them out away from the body. All right, farmer's carry for the 6th and final exercise in the circuits. You do all 6 of those exercises for the full 25 minutes. That brings us to the team builder for the week. We're going to go back to some battle rope. It's a battle rope royale. And this will be slightly different also at each club. Because first of all, if your club only has 1 rope, you can only use 1 station. If you have 2 ropes, you can do 2 stations happening simultaneously and divide the session into 2 groups. But however your session runs this, it's going to be, everyone's going to get in line. And every person's going to first go through 30 slams with the rope, okay? Then once everyone's done, you keep it moving. Everyone does 20 slams, and then everyone does 10. So it's going to be a lot of reps total overall. Get little breaks between each set. But yeah, 30, 20, 10, battle rope slams for a nice little cardio finisher. All right, team, that wraps up week 33. Hope you enjoy it. Hope you like these movements. Hope you get a good workout out of it. And I'll see you back next week.